So the death toll in the east, where Hurricane Helene is cruising through the east coast of the United States, has jumped up to about 120. The storm itself is going through Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, and it's reaching Kentucky. It started out as a Category 4 storm. Right now, it's a very slow storm, so it's just inundating the East Coast. The streets are flooded. There's power outages everywhere. Of course, 119 dead. They also wanted to make sure they're very clear. 11 pets died too, so there's that. The National Guard has been called in North Carolina, and they're using vehicles, aircraft, trying to get people because everything's flooded. The storm was like I said, the storm was a Category 4. It was a slow-moving storm, so it was just, there was a 20-foot storm surge. So 20 feet, that is, I got to tell you, it's amazing that only 119 people died with a 20-foot storm surge. You would think Georgia would have been completely flooded. I mean, it is, but people have survived, so that's good. The other thing is that I guess there was a fire started, a chemical fire was started in Georgia. I'm not clear. They've evacuated that area. I am not 100% clear that fire was started by the storm, but considering there was a massive loss of power, I would suspect it probably has something to do with it. States of emergency have been declared through Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, and not yet, I don't think Kentucky yet, but it's been declared in those 3 states. Joe Biden is supposed to make a statement about it today. So it's bad. Of course, you've got the left that are already starting. They're starting with, well, this is proof of climate change. Well, this is not a proof of climate change. Someone released it. First off, I hate when they do this. Don't do this. This is not the time to go into the climate change. We don't even know. People don't even have power. They can't even communicate with anybody right now. We don't know who's alive, who's dead, who's sick, who's injured. And these guys are already screaming about climate change. Here's a newsflash. There was a meme released this weekend, and it pretty much summed it up. You have a hurricane in a place called Hurricane Alley during the middle of hurricane season. This is nothing abnormal. Heck, this hurricane isn't even the strongest hurricane we've had. It just was very slow, dumped a lot of water, went through very heavily populated areas, and that's what it is. It has nothing to do with climate change. As a matter of fact, we expect we're going to get hurricanes this season, like we get hurricanes every season. So, I just hate when people do that. Well, there's one genius that has an idea of what's causing this storm. And this gentleman is our dumbass of the day. Okay, so this guy, again, if you're watching the video, you'll know what I mean, but this guy looks like he hasn't actually been off the couch for probably the last 10 years. But he says he knows exactly why. Not only has he not been off the couch in the last 10 years, he probably needs to comb his hair. I'm just saying. But he knows exactly why these hurricanes are happening.
Everything is racist. Everything is racist according to me. Everything is racist in 2020.
That's right, racism. Racism, it's always racism. Again, these guys are really having a hard time finding something being racist. Sidewalks are being for some reason, blaming sidewalks being racist was not embraced. Water being racist was not embraced. Owning a dog being racist was not embraced. So how about we go into hurricanes? So this guy, he's decided to say that hurricanes, basically karma for racism and slavery. Yeah, okay, awesome. Let's listen to this guy. It's a little bit of a long clip, but I thought it was just too funny. So let's listen.
Last night I was thinking this. I was looking up these places, right, that this Hurricane Helene hit. Majority of them are like places that we not there. That's not for us. This is a white party only. Didn't you know this? Right? Type situation. And even though it's tragic, people are losing their houses, businesses, everything, right? It's kind of weird that the places that the hurricane was supposed to hit really hard, it didn't hit really hard, and the places that were like in the middle of nowhere are just being leveled to a point of non-existence, right? And it's like, why is it that? Why is it that these towns that are not diverse at all getting destroyed, and the cities that are diverse are getting flooding, but not too bad, right? Make it make sense, because it doesn't make sense to me. But also as well, they say that the hurricane is the spirit of a black woman that were necessarily enough thrown over the boats during slavery. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You tell me. You tell me. Because to me, what it looks like is karma. It might be karma. It might be. Or it's just a happy coincidence that these sundown towns got devastated by this hurricane. I don't know. You tell me. Like, share, comment.
I mean, I don't even know what to say to this. Okay. First off, I got some bad news for this gentleman. It's not just hitting. It's not this hurricane is not targeting white people only. It's not. It's just going straight up. It's hitting black people. It's hitting white people. It's hitting Hispanics. Here's the thing this guy doesn't understand. Nature doesn't give an F. It doesn't care. It just does what it does. It's not like it's going through, I mean, it flooded parts of Atlanta, for Christ's sake. There aren't a lot of white people in Atlanta. If you've ever been to Atlanta, you know that that's not a thing. Gigi, knock it off. That's not a thing. That's my dog. So she's doing something. I don't know. But anyway, so this is just the dumbest thing. And of course he brings it, the woman throwing the... Okay, not one person who was victimized by this storm, whether that person was injured, killed, lost a home, lost a dog, whatever. Not one person was a slave owner. Not one of them. Not one of them. I can guarantee most of them, probably their parents weren't slave owners. This had nothing to do with slavery, but you got to bring it up. You got to talk. Everything has to be related back to slavery somehow, and racism and all this stuff. So this guy is obviously a mental genius. I hope he's smarter. I hope he knows how to think better than he knows how to dress, comb his hair, and probably diet. I don't know. His diet's probably not that great. But no, this storm was not caused by karma for slavery. This storm is a storm. And by the way, these storms happen at this time of year. For about 3 months, we're going to get storms. That's what happens. September, October, November, we'll get some storms. About mid-November, it'll stop. This wasn't a huge storm. This storm, Helene or whatever its name is, did not sit there and say, there's a white person, let's destroy the house. That's not how these storms work. But, you know, hey, if seeing the misery of people makes these people happy, whatever. I don't understand how you can be so happy about the misery of others or content with the misery of others. And he sits there and says, you know, I feel bad for them. No, you don't. You're glad that the thought that all the white people are getting wiped off the earth from this storm, even though that's not exactly what's happening. It's not just white people. Storms don't care. You are happy about it. And I mean, to have that level of hate in your heart, to be that angry and that to justify death like that, I just don't know how this person lives with himself. I mean, I know a lot of people live like this. They think like this. But again, those are the people that are usually very depressed, very unhealthy, don't take care of themselves, usually are on drugs, usually suicidal. I mean, this is the kind, well, yeah, if you've got that kind of outlook about other people, you're a bad person. You just may not know you're a bad person yet, but there's something inside you that says, I'm a bad person, and then suddenly you get depressed. It's just a god-awful way to be. Just hoping other people die or go through misery. It's just a shitty way to be.